Jokes. How is your wife? Asked Zalithar. She's in bed with laryngitis, replied Harleth. Is that Argonian bastard back in town again? I keep seeing spots before my eyes. Have you seen a healer? No, just spots. A big Nord named Julgen was set on by a gang of thieves. He fought them furiously, but in the end they beat him into semi-consciousness. They searched his pockets and discovered that he only had 3 gold pieces on him. Do you mean to tell us you fought us like a mad loop for 3 lousy gold pieces? Sneered one of the thieves. No, answered Julgen. I was afraid you were after the 400 gold pieces in my boot. During the War of Brittany, the Britons in the Isle of Cragcold were under siege for several days. After the island was liberated, Lord Bridwell found the ruins of the castle, where a crowd of survivors were hidden away in the dark. It was going to be a difficult job freeing them, as part of the roof had collapsed, trapping them all within. Bridwell stuck his head in the only opening and shouted to the Britons below, "Are there any expectant mothers down there?" "It's hard to say, your lordships," said a young woman. "We've only been down here for a few days." An elderly Breton met with a contemporary of his at a guild meeting. "Hairston, old man, I want to express my sympathy. I hear that you buried your wife last week." "Had to, old boy," replied Hairston. "Dead, you know." Why was the Sentinel army so useless during the War of Brittany? The cannons were too heavy, so all 3 garbage scows sunk. What does a new Sentinel private learn first as a combat technique? How to retreat. Was the thinnest book in the world? Redguard Heroes of the War of Brittany. A dark elf man killed his wife after catching her making love with another man. When the magistrate asked him why he killed her instead of her lover, the man replied, "I considered it better to kill one woman than a different man every week." A dark elf woman was being shown around Daggerfall. When she was shown the magnificent castle Daggerfall, she smiled sweetly to her guild and whispered, "It reminds me of sex." "That's odd," said her guild. "Why does our castle Daggerfall remind you of sex?" The dark elf sighed. "Everything does." Yelitha told Vathissa that she was having dinner with a dark elf named Morleth that night. "I hear he's an animal," said Vathissa. "He'll rip your dress right off you." "Thank you for telling me," said Yelitha. "I'll be sure to wear an old dress." How do you separate sailors in the Khajiiti Navy? With a hammer and tongs. "This orchard has some sentimental value to me," said Mojad, the Khajiit, to his old friend Hasilid. "Under that tree, for example, is where I first made love, and that tree is where her mother stood watching us." "She watched while you made love to her daughter?" said Hasilid, clearly impressed. "Didn't she say anything?" "Meow." What do you call a wood elf who doesn't lie or cheat or steal? A dead wood elf.